What is going on, guys? Today we are looking at the Team of the Season, Community, Eredivisie and a couple of the moments that are in packs right now. Obviously we'll look at the Prem next week and we will be seeing what sort of tiers everybody goes into. We've got a few decent players in, obviously Simons, we've got a De Gea, a Robertson, a Reina, obviously from Team of the Season swaps, so it's going to be an interesting one to have a look at. Obviously, in terms of Simons, however you want to pronounce it, as well as somebody like a Jesus, I feel like they are coming in at the top of the top. It's natural for them. They're very, very expensive, but they have got somewhat abilities that others don't. Obviously, with Simons, he's coming in at 870 at the moment. A 4-star, which was a shame that he didn't manage to get an upgrade there, but it is his best card by a couple of extra ratings, to be honest, and it helps he managed to get an 87 player of the month just before Team of the Season. So I think this card has definitely got to go in that S category right now. In terms of a cam, I'm not saying he's the greatest cam you can get, but he's definitely one that is going to be in there for a couple of weeks at best until we get a lot of these great Team of the Seasons, and they will obviously naturally bring stuff out, I'd say. Jesus, number 2, obviously the best of the kind of community in terms of striker. We have got Sanchez next to him, but Jesus Prem tax looks absolutely fantastic. He's going up over the rating of his 89 Winter World card, which is perfect. And at the minute, he's coming in at 2.5 mil, which is absolutely crazy. But every bit of the stats look absolutely ridiculous. So I do think these two are kind of coming in here. And I do think in terms of, if I can find him, where is his hairline? There he is. Bernardo Silva. Are you tired of using players like this? I would much rather have teams more like this. Then I recommend going over to skycoach.gg for all of your coaching and coins needs. They are cheap, fast and reliable, but at the checkout make sure you are using code JT11 for a discount on your orders. Back to the video. He's one that I really do like, and I think this is where I'm having the battle between Simons and obviously Bernardo, because rating wise, obviously Bernardo wins that sort of battle. Dribbling wise, he's got higher, but the pace does take him down that little bit. And I do think the physicality side of stuff, even though Simons most definitely is not necessarily the most built player in the world, he's 5'6" with a lean body type, he naturally just feels that little bit better. Bernardo Silva's still incredible, and I think people will argue between both of them. I do think Simons being new, fresh, he adds that sort of unpredictable value of what he should be, whereas Bernardo's a standard. He's a standard very good player, but I don't know if I'd really put him in the middle, really between these two, but out of preference, I think Simons is S and Bernardo is A+ for me. In terms of what else we've got here, Arejo, an incredible centre-back, obviously coming in with a bit of a price. I think the SBC is coming in now at a whopping 470,000, an 88 and an 89 I believe that you've got to do. With duplicate Team of the Seasons, it should be quite simple. And I do think in terms of a centre-back, he's incredible. If you need a centre-back, that is. Grind him out, get him done. The pace, the defend and the physical, absolutely absurd for the card, most definitely. We then move on to somebody like Carter Vickers. Again, not necessarily the worst Team of the Season that you can get in terms of rating, price, all of that, but he's not what you want, is he? Realistically, the moments, or to be honest, all three of them, if we have a look at them here, they're not ones that you really want. Ito as a little bit of a super sub, great pace on him, and that's pretty much the only thing that is going to put him on any sort of list, to be honest. I do think with these three, they're kind of just plucked out of thin air, and for some reason they're there. In terms of Ito, though, what is he? Is it 4-4? It's a 4-4, great pace, obviously. Finishing's, it's there, I suppose. He's going to be super sub at best. I do think would probably go for something like that. These two are personally not in the preference for any sort of thing. I think Carter Vickers is going to be good for a Scottish League team if you want. Other than that, he's not going to be played. And same with the left back. 6'2", 88 rated, great stats, but he's not got no playability in my eyes anyway. We then have Danilo, who I do think is a standard. Good centre-back, good pace, defending, physical. Very, very samey compared to a lot of the centre-backs we have had, most definitely. Robertson's going to come in that A+. Really do rate the upgrade from him. To be honest, he could be argued to be an S, to be honest. Let's have a quick look and see what the difference was, because obviously he's not really had anything this year, which is absolutely mental to think. Oh, no, in fact, he had his 89 Winter Wild card. I did think he had something, but he's had a triple upgrade, a +3, obviously 5-star, 2-star on the Winter Wild card. He's only a 3-star, 3-star on this one. Obviously taking the skill move upgrade. Would have been nice to maybe have a weak foot if he could have. To be honest, with 3s on everything, 5 and 4s on the other side, I think the Winter Wildcard really puts up a fight. So I'm going to stay in the A+ with him. I think he's a good upgrade, and obviously being Team of the Season Prem, never going to argue with him. But most definitely, I don't think he quite gets into that S just yet. Ake up with the 86 pace, 91 defending physical, really nice centre back. It's going to just sit in that standard spot, and I do think the same-ish, I'd say, for Kim Min Jae. I do think, obviously, Prem always has a better value. I tend to watch a lot more Prem. I know more of the names, and you kind of want more Prem players half the time. Kim Min Jae, though, putting in an absolute shift. Great physicality, great pace increase, and it's nice to see him from the start of the game really be represented in this community as well. De Gea, another keeper, again, that I personally will always take. You're never going to disregard De Gea. Don't think he's quite an S sort of keeper. I'd put him A+ for the moment, and again, as we go through Team of the Season, we're going to find more 94, 95, 96 keepers that most definitely will take over rating and more than likely take over the position to bring the goalkeepers down. We then have Coman, looks absolutely nuts on the stats. He's one card that I do think every time Team of the Season happens, we get a big upgrade for him. Normally Footies as well is a great shout for him. A 5-star, 3-star, so unfortunately misses out on any weak foot upgrade. But in terms of pace, finishing, passing and dribbling, he's definitely on that top level. Whether it be a super sub, if you've already got somebody incredible in that left mid role, I do think he's coming in relatively nice going forward. Obviously as well, being an extra rating, if we can move this down again, an extra rating, +4 compared to his 89, I want to say Path to Glory. Well, I think he might have been an SBC, in fact, by the looks of it, from the World Cup. So he's definitely been desperate for this upgrade, most definitely. We then have Bergwijn. Again, another great upgrade for him. Eredivisie this time. And in terms of Bergwijn, if we can have a look at his card, I do think with obviously him in Spurs, he got obviously a solid upgrade, but unfortunately he's gone back to Eredivisie, which means he's not really been given the chance to get that Prem upgrade, which would have been beautiful. He managed to get an Adidas card last year at 86, nothing crazy, and he did have an 88 showdown this time at the World Cup, so this is a big upgrade for him. 4-star, 4-star again. I believe more than likely a super sub at best for me. We then have Joe Linton. Do think a solid card. Whether I think he was going to be better if he was actually in the team compared to an objective. I do think as an objective, you're never going to disregard an 89 whatsoever. But I do think at the moment, very, very standard centre mid in my eyes. We then have Benacer, a great CDM. Absolutely brilliant upgrade. The only problem with him, and he's like Sanchez to be honest, I do think he could have been better. He managed to get a 90 fantasy foot, and it is unfortunate that rolled on with community, because now we've got a 90 and some of them can still get upgrades, but then he's only got a +2. I think Sanchez has still got an upgrade to get if they do win the match or draw the match, whatever, which means he's only a +1 above. It's not good enough at times, because literally for Benacer, the two different cards, at the minute this one's coming in at 460, the previous fantasy foot's coming in at 200. Unless that price is going really close, you might as well go with a fantasy foot. With Sanchez though, if we can find him, he is still absolutely incredible though. Pace, unreal. Dribbling is next level. The left stick is absolutely rapid for him, and a great finish on him as well. Obviously coming in at a hefty price, but he is well worth it as a team of the season. Same as Rodrigo, to be honest. Again, another cracking card. We've been waiting for him to get that upgrade since obviously he got his phenoms as an 87. We've seen a big upgrade for him, and he has not disappointed one bit. Check the review out on him because he was an absolute machine. Another one that was really good for me, Thuram was absolutely solid in that centre mid. I do think realistically he would go in an A+ for me rather than necessarily S, because as well I do know what the level of centre mids we've got and also what's going to come out. I don't feel like if I put him in S that it'd even last a week after Prem, because he's a nice card and he's a great upgrade, incredible acceleration. Obviously the defending, the physicals are top dog in that CDM role, but I do think he is a standard sort of CDM. You've got your Hullets, you've got your it's kind of like a, how tall was he? I was going to say Conte then, but I know he's not. I know he's way taller, I'm pretty sure. Whether we get that right, he is 6 foot 6'4", couldn't be any more different to Conte. But he's very much like a Hullet, I think, is what I was going for in terms of the tall, big sort of defensive movements as well as the physicality presence. But unfortunately, I think going forward in that kind of box-to-box area, it will depend then on what sort of position play, how you play is going to work. Obviously, if you've got 3 midfielders and you need a solid DM, that's where he's going to really play. If you've got 2 in a 4-4-2 and you want box-to-boxes, he's going to get you somewhere, but he's most definitely not going to be the 100% back and forth sort of player. If then we go a bit further down, we have someone like Vermin, and to be honest, a lot of the Eredivisie, they're okay, but I personally wouldn't rate them compared to a lot of, obviously, the Prem, a lot of the community team in the seasons. They are very, very standard. I'd probably go with that centre-back above 1. We've utilised him a little bit, and he's got a great pace on him, but again, he's not going to compare to your Arejos. He's not going to compare to your Ramoses, your Maldinis, your Virgils. They're going to be a nice card that definitely bump a card from a gold to a very nice card, but there's so many out there that unfortunately is just not going to be up there. Tadic getting another great card though. Again, the top of the top in terms of Eredivisie, coming in quite nice. I feel like they are a very nice standard cards, but again, they are cheap for a reason. This is the whole point. Then we have Rice. Again, a nice CDM, but most definitely not going to be in there, especially with Prem next week as well. He is not going to be in there much longer. Same with Morata. Again, good pace increase. Shooting's always going to be fantastic with him, but he's most definitely not going to do enough to put yourself in that top spot. Same with the Greeks striker. We managed to just get him, to be honest. And again, very standard. Good shooting on him. Dribbling's nice. Little bit stocky at times. Pace feels good and physicality's nice. But again, he's just not going to be there in my eyes. Payet. Absolutely love Payet. He is going 100% into that S category. He was a machine at Winter Wildcard, and he is an absolute beast here. Obviously, the different dynamic, that is the Winter Wildcard one. We downloaded the card before the dynamic came on there, but absolutely unreal. Tavernier, good right back, obviously has a very good solid stats throughout. Pace-wise is nice, physicality is good. I think a solid right back. Reina, on the other hand, I think... For me, I do think he's probably an A+. I am quite kind of criticizing of him, but I do think he will be a good cam if you are to get him instead of the packs. Whether you will is down to the question. And Casado, honestly, I've not used this card yet because he's not available, but he looks an absolute machine. 90 pace, 90 physical, 89 defense on a free or swaps center defensive mid Prem. Honestly, next level. That card, I'll be surprised if he's not in the S category. He looks good and hopefully he feels just as good. And that's going to be the team. So let me know down below what you think about them. Make sure you do like and subscribe on this video, and I'll catch you all for the next one. Check the video on screen. Peace.